Hey everybody, this is Rdclutch with another clutch review. So I'm finally getting around to reviewing Fenix's TA21 tactical flashlight. First off, this flashlight is very versatile. It has 12 different light settings. On low it has 4 lumens, which I've used in the nursery, and it has a high of 225, which I've used in the pitch dark at the beach. So this light is pretty powerful. It takes 2 CR123A batteries, and the way you load the batteries is you unscrew the tail cap, which is here. This is also the tactical button that turns it on and off. So load the batteries in like so. And screw it on. Turns it on and off. So I think the first thing to talk about with this light is the user interface in terms of how you go from one light setting to the next. Most carry flashlights like this. Even ones that are smaller than this. This is probably pretty large in terms of an everyday carry flashlight. But I kind of like the size of it, and I kind of like the feel of it. I didn't want anything too small, so for me this works. But whether it's this size or a smaller Fenix light you might be looking at, or a short fire, most of them use this switch here as the mechanism in which you go from one light setting to the next. So those of you who, obviously you've had flashlights, that can be a little bit of a pain to kind of have to constantly click through to get the right light setting for your environment. So what Fenix did was that it kind of changed the user interface a little bit and added a mechanical dial, which is what you see here. And this dial determines what the light setting is. It has 12 different settings, and you just turn it one at a time to the right setting you want. So when you have it the setting you want, you just leave it there, and you can turn it on. It'll remember what setting was at. So that's the on off. This is permanent on. You can also just do a slight push and it'll flash. So let me talk about this mechanical dial a little bit. Do you need 12 settings? I don't think so. Usually I have it on the most high setting, which is number 9. And I have it on the most low setting, which is number 1. You also have stun. You have, I think, SOS. This is flash. And you do have SOS, which is their 12 setting. Number 12 is SOS. So is 12, a lot? I think so. I don't know. I typically don't use that many. I'll probably just use the low setting, like I said, and the high setting. But it is nice to have those options to be able to kind of adjust how much light you need. And the difference is pretty substantial, as you go across from 1 to 12. One of the things I have to say about this mechanical dial is that this is actually the third Fenix TA21 I've had. The first one I had problems with this mechanical dial where as I was turning it, you should be able to turn it, clockwise and counterclockwise without a problem. That's how it's designed. But the first one I got, I started to turn it counterclockwise, and it just broke. And it didn't really, I couldn't I couldn't change setting. I was just stuck on one setting. So the other thing I noticed about this is that this mechanical setting, you know, it takes two hands to operate. You can't really, you know, you can do it with one hand, but I just find that it's easier to have two hands to use it. And it's a little, I would be weary of this type of interface. I kind of feel like if you're too, you know, put too much pressure on it, you know, it could break. So I'm usually pretty, you know, careful when I switch these lights. I'm not yanking it this way or that way. So that's just one note. Next thing I want to talk about is this tail cap. So Fenix advertised this light as being able to stand on its head, which this one does. I can just go like this and it'll stand on its head for candle mode, which is really convenient. And you know, I really wanted a light that could do that, so I specifically looked at this light. What I've noticed though is that the second TA light I bought, this recessed cap here extended past this bezel. So in essence, this was so large that it was wobbly and it wouldn't stand. So when I contacted Fenix about this, they, you know, their customer service said that, you know, they only make one model of this light, and the model doesn't stand, which obviously is incorrect since I have a model that stands. So if you're looking for this light and that's an issue, I would check with the distributor before you buy it. Fenix is in China, so you know, when I try to contact their customer service, there was always a delay in terms of response time, you know, obviously because they're overseas. So if that's a big deal for you, you know, I would check with the distributor, make sure that the tail cap is recessed enough so that you can stand it on its head. Definitely something to look into. Alright, so the next thing I want to talk about this light is this anti-roll system here, which is great. You know, we put it down, it doesn't, you can't go anywhere, so, which is fantastic, which I like a lot. This light also is waterproof. I've dunked it in water plenty of times and no problems there. It has a really nice belt clip. It's very sturdy, and you know, I don't think it's great. It's also removable. If you wanted to take it out, you could remove it. This anti-roll thing is also removable. Comes with a lanyard. This lanyard you can kind of attach here like I've done, or attach it here. I didn't attach it there because I didn't want it to get in the way of being able to stand the flashlight on its head. So overall, you know, I think this flashlight is really good. I love it. It's very versatile. I'm not going to really go into a light test for this with you guys. I think it's just, you know, the video is not going to do it justice. I do have to say that it is very powerful. Battery life is an issue. They say 220 at max output, which is 225 lumens. You can run it for an hour and a half. I found that to be more closer to an hour of run time. So you're going to have to change the batteries on this quite a bit if you intend to use it a lot. Some other features that I like about this is the light. It's clean. You know, it's a clean spotlight. It has a wide area after the initial spot, so it's a nice quality light. It has an intense beam on it. You'll see that once you test it out yourself. And it's sturdy. I mean, this thing, you can drop it from, you know, anywhere, and I think you're gonna be fine. One last cool thing, it has this strike bezel, which if you ever wanted to defend yourself against an attacker, you could always use this as a weapon. So it has a strike bezel here, which is very cool, I think. Overall, this light, very nice. I like it. I had some initial problems with a couple of the first ones that I bought. Has a 2-year warranty, so if you ever have a problem, you can always contact Fenix and return it. They were more than happy to kind of replace my light with a different one. Unfortunately, they just couldn't guarantee that it could stand on its head. Other than that, I think it's a great light. So thanks for watching, and tune in next time for another Clutch review.